Do you have a podcast? Or do you have a lot of footage with talking heads? In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a very cool split screen in Final Cut Pro. Come on, let's check it out. What's up? I'm Jay Woodard. Thank you for checking out this video where I'm going to help you do a very cool split screen in Final Cut Pro. As some of you may know, I have a marketing podcast called Content is King. It's a marketing podcast with the fantastic Muriel Foley. We're based here in Ireland. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere. And if you do go to our Instagram, you'll see it here. You'll see the clips I'm talking about right now. So it's the top and bottom because there's only two of us. You apply the same methods to the edit for, like, let's say if it's 4 people, 3 people, or 2 people. So when I was editing, when I first got the footage, we used 2 iPhones in the studio, and then I just take the footage and then I was editing. I was like, how do I make this look good? I was thinking, like, because I had them side by side for a while. I had the first, actually, to be honest, I had the 1080 by 1080 square. It was fine. It did its trick. Even if you go down through the page, you'll see it. But more and more, obviously, when Reels started happening and vertical video and stories were happening, I was like, we need to get the full screen. We need to use the full screen. So I said, right, let's do top and bottom. So I started putting mirror in the bottom and me on the top, and vice versa. It all depends on the day and whatever way my head is when I'm doing the edit. It doesn't really matter. That's not a pattern I want to stick to. But I thought, right, top and bottom seems to work. And what I'll do is I'll angle one of us to the left and one of us to the right, so it kind of looks like we're talking to each other. Kind of looks like it. And ever since I started doing that, I've got a lot of compliments and a lot of people asking, oh, what software did you use to that? Was that CapCut? How did you do that? And I always go to them, it was Final Cut Pro, and they're like, oh. So we're going to jump onto my screen, and I'm going to show you how I do a little promo clip for my podcast, Content is King. So here we are on my desktop. Let's jump in straight into Final Cut down the bottom here. So I'm literally going to walk you step by step through, like I'm going to create a new event and stuff for you guys. So as you can see, I was editing earlier, and this is the idea I'm going to go for.
A client.
So
they are young.
Top and bottom, as I said, looks good. Works great for social media and promotion. It looks fantastic on Reels, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook. It looks fantastic. You can use it across all platforms. You don't have to go changing, which is super handy. So let's start from the very start. So file. Let's click new event. Let's say split screen test. And then okay, so here she is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the footage I had from today's shoot. Excuse the mess, that's my recents folder. So downloads, this is the video from Muriel's phone. And I'm going to bring in the footage I have of Muriel from my desktop, from my phone. So now you'll see that is our phone footage. You'll hear it, the audio isn't great at all. Obviously, because it's shot in phones and we're in a studio. So what I have to do first is I have to sync up the audio to these clips. So I'm going to find my audio that I saved and exported and downloaded and sent over to myself. And it is here, episode 6. Look, again, excuse my downloads folder. I know people are like, oh my God, you're so messy. I am. Dropping that in. Here it is. Simple. So what you're going to do is command minus, so make it smaller so you can see everything in there. So highlight the sound and then command click one of the clips and then right click and say synchronize clip. Here she is, and I'm going to say Muriel's clip, and then split screen test. Perfect, all that's okay. Click OK, and it should sync up Muriel's nicely, and then the exact same procedure with mine. So I'm going to click and then command and click the audio so they're both highlighted. Right click, synchronize clips, and Jay's clip. No, see both my are now synced with the audio. What we've done is we've exported them in, we've synchronized them. File, new project. This is where it gets some, not tricky, just keep an eye to it, right? No, in the last while, since all this social media has happened, Final Cut has actually added in a vertical format. So see video here, click that, and down here is vertical. Now I think that's, yeah, 720 by 1280p. I don't like that personally. 60p as well. I always drop it on 24 because it looks better. So what I actually do is I click custom, and I go 1080 by 1920, right? Normal, ProRes 422 HQ is what I go for the rendering, and then split screen test, all looks good, and then boom, here we go. So as you can see, there's my little vertical video there. It just, with the 1280, with the 720 by 1280, I feel like it's stretched a small bit. I feel you never get the full quality of the clip. It always zooms in automatically. I don't like that. So after I've synchronized my clips, I can literally drag and drop them in. So I can drag this guy in, and then I can drag this one in. So let's sync them up. See how I literally do it. I make them a bit bigger with Command and Plus, and I look for the sound waves. So I'm going to blade those two clips here just to give me a bit of space to work with. So now you can see my waveforms here and the waveforms up here. So obviously they're not in line. So I'm going to clip this back a small bit, which means just grab it and pull it. So I'm going to go to the end and I just pull it, and then I just match them up. I match the waveforms up. And there's definitely probably an easier way to do this, but this is how I've trained to do it, and ever since I've been doing this. And then I just clip, click, and nope, bring that a bit closer. In fact, let's put a mirror on the bottom. It's easier to do it when it's on the bottom clip. See, it moves tidier for some reason. So now I'm going to zoom in with plus and Command, and you see it will stretch it out. And what I do then is I match them up. So that's about right. So let's move a bit into the chunkier bit of the whole thing. So I'm going to bring this over here so you can hear it start talking.
What's the crack?
So when you hear it's kind of, when you can hear it's kind of echoing itself, it means you're pretty accurate, that it's on top of itself. And as you can see, it's a tiny bit off. If you can just bring it back a tiny bit. Oh no, I made a mistake there. So Command Z. So now, how are you? Synced up nicely. They're all in line, and I bring this one down. Bring that down.
Good.
Yeah. Now, so I have audio on both perfectly, right? So before anything else, what we want to do is we want to bring a background in. So I have a background saved here in my old Folderino. I said Folderino, class. Artwork, and then I have it here, the blank background. So I'm actually just going to drag this onto my timeline at the bottom. I'm going to make that the whole thing. As you can see, it's just to give you an idea of it. So that kind of makes it nice, gives us a nice color background. That's our color palette. That's kind of the background we always use. And so now I have my background. I'm going to select my clip. I'm going to press this box cube. I don't know the name. It will tell me something. Transform tracker button. And what I do is I literally just stretch it to what I want it to be, and I bring it up and I bring it down, and I do the exact same for Muriel's. And I bring myself over to the right just a small bit, and I highlight Muriel's clip and I zoom in for her, and I bring it in. Now with this, obviously she's a bit further away from the camera than I am. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to crop. So over here to the little film button, and I'm going to go to the bottom, go to the crop section, and I'm going to do the top and bring it down to Muriel's head, just so she can get a bit more. I think there's a bit too much of me, so I'm going to clip the bottom of my clip, and I'm going to bring Muriel up. So she has kind of, I always aim for like 50-50 of the screen for both of us because we are co-hosts. And there you have it. The two of us talking. Now, obviously, you can move the background as well if you want. So I do it like that, so I can kind of bring the color in, so it kind of makes it nice. If you want to zoom in to this, you can. I always edit on the one screen. I always have. Now and then I have it on my MacBook Pro to the side, so I just kind of drag and drop stuff. I am going to invest in better software and better hardware, like a vertical screen. I think it'll be very handy for a second screen. But if you are editing on one screen, this is how I do it. You can always zoom in here if you like, so you can always click 100% just to see. Right, that color looks good. You can move it up and down here to see. So that seems to fit there nicely. Lines all their work. My stupid head. Go back to fit and you'll see it there. So it's just so much easier to promote with this. So like what I tend to do is, if you follow me here to my actual timeline, so I have, as you can see here, I have my, the CIK podcast is Contest King podcast, screeners, final audio, raw timeline, LinkedIn, YouTube. So I kind of have different formats for different things. So this is the stories one, as you can see it. It goes,
and they were like, really?
and then our promo comes on, so you'll see it, then you'll see the screen popping on like that. Listen to us everywhere. But I have a YouTube one then where that you can watch the full YouTube video, and then what I do from that one, this is where I take the clips from.
Okay, let's get.
So as you can see, there's several different cuts in my timeline there. And what I do is I'll take those synchronized clips, and I've made with you a different project for stories, which is a vertical, and I'll copy and paste them in to here, and then that's my thing. So then I'll go back and forth between the timelines, just taking the segments I want. So I find it the fastest way to do it. And please, if there's a faster way, let me know. I'd really appreciate it. But I find this is the fastest way for me. And then I find the clip, sync it up, and then I have my little theme song kick in. And I always try and keep the promo clips 60 seconds or under. Now I do clips for YouTube where it's a minute or 2 minutes, and it's just like a quick segment, you know, that kind of thing. So let's go back here. We're on our timeline. Here we are. And what you're going to do then is I'm going to cut these just because we don't need all that footage. Let's say that's our clip. Tighten it up. So as you can see here, this is our clip. It's so it's too long. Let's cut it down to this long. And I already have brought in, no I haven't, that's a lie, in my art folder again, back to the art folder for the latest bit of art. You'll see it here, clean up idea created. You'll see here I have my new stories, so I'll drag this into my timeline. So this is our theme tune, so you'll see it come in. So I've just dropped it in, I've just clipped it to where I wanted it to be, so it was up here. I want to come in on that's where I want to come in, so I'm gonna bring it up to about here. I'm gonna drag this little notch here. You can take that in, and what that does is it fades the music in for you. So I'm gonna kind of match to kind of where Mirror is talking, whoever's talking, just kind of end the clip and to end on that bump. So I'm gonna drag that clip down to here and end it on that bump. Get rid of this. B again for the cut blade, for the tool blade, or the tool blade. Press B again for the blade tool. Clip it where you want it. A, back to the arrow, and then highlight these and get rid of them with a backspace. So just give you an idea of it. So this is our clip. They're talking away, as you can see here.
You're conscious that you're losing a day. You ought to, you kind of work harder or something.
No, that probably came a bit too early. I didn't like that too much. So this is where it comes in. I'm going to bring this in here. And what I try and do as well when I'm doing is, see the little notch, I try and match it up with my beat, my last beat that I come in on. So Mirror is talking about work week, this 4-day work week. No, that didn't go obviously, as you can see. So I'm going a bit longer than Muriel is. So she says work a bit harder, and I want to end it on the work a bit harder. Now, so this is where the beat actually ends. So I'm going to bring this to here. So I'm going to kind of line my little notch up with my line here, and I'm going to bring my music out to the end. So we're at just over a minute. Obviously, as I said, in practice you want to be doing a minute or less. So you'll see the full clip is here, editing away, talking away. The nice color background again, you can move that up and down if you like to make it a bit more, so you kind of make a difference or make it kind of stand out a bit. You could do a little timer as well if you want that. Those plugins are available online. Just to show the ending.
Because I think when you're conscious that you're losing a day, you ought to
and that's the promo. Always when you're doing audio as well, you always want to keep it between -6 and -12 your levels. So you want to keep it around this mark here. If it goes a bit higher, it's okay, but obviously if it peaks, and you don't want that. And if it goes beneath 20, it's too low, you can't hear it at all. So what you want to do is, Okay, so I'm happy with that. Let's export it. Right, so I'm happy with this. I want to export it. I highlight it all, so I'll make sure my clip isn't just highlighted. So I want to highlight all of them, turn that off, turn off the transform button. I go up to file. I always click the timeline just to make sure everything's highlighted. Otherwise, you could just click file that renders out by accident. So file, share, export file, settings. So video and audio, obviously I want, because I'm using that. If it's just audio, I'm just promoting the podcast through audio clips. It's just audio only. I always select WAV files, but we're doing video and audio for this. Video codec, I always go for H.264. You watch the difference. So as of right now, it's a 1.8 gig estimate of the size. You go to H.264, boom, 190 megs. It is some difference, and the quality is still incredible. And it's obviously just for social, so it's perfect. It works perfectly. Click next. Name your clip, and then we're going to go to my desktop, send it to save to my desktop just for now. Up here she exports, tip it away nicely. And what this is just what I tend to do is I tend to do per episode, per podcast, per week I should say. We have a hero piece, which is the main podcast. We have a full video on YouTube. I do 5 clips, 5 vertical clips for the podcast, 2 landscape clips for YouTube. So I have my 5 vertical clips that are shared to TikTok, Reels, YouTube Stories, and LinkedIn and Twitter. And then I also have my 2 clips, like my landscape clips, that go onto Facebook if I want, or they can go straight to Twitter if they want, which I actually still prefer the vertical. I think it's much nicer. So we actually only use the landscape clips for YouTube alone, just to promote the clips, the 2-3 minute long clips. My wheel here is done. It's just finishing up there now. You'll see it pop up in a second. Pop up my second screen, I'd say. And there it is. There's my split screen video. Now, I actually don't color my clips. Some say I should. This is the color in the studio. I think it works. Tell me if I'm wrong. People haven't given up about color yet. It's more natural. The studio has a very cool, like an electric skylight, I think is the way to describe it. It's kind of over our heads. I will have to bring some lighting into the studio sooner or later, but I think for promo clips it works nicely. It's natural. And that's it. I hope that helped. I hope you'll use it. Let me know if you do use it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to get back to you guys and help in any way I can. The idea of this whole page is that I show you some value, some entertainment. And look, if you found this helpful, please leave a like. If even better, subscribe. We'd love it. Love you to join the community. And yeah, have a great week, weekend, whenever you're watching this. Have a great day. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the love, and we'll see you soon.